Hello, my name is Gina and I'm going to be presenting on developing academic language for ELL students today. Provided this word. There we go. So academic language is a useful set of vocabulary words designed to help students understand text, utilize in essays, and comprehend when verbally used by a teacher. Here are some examples. In math, we have some words such as sum, product, and quotient. Those are academic language for the subject of math. For an essay, we often use transitional terms such as therefore, however, and in addition. Academic language is important for English language learners because they are not always aware of the language vocabulary outside the general way they speak at home or to their friends. Learning this academic language can help them articulate their thoughts and assist them with their writings. Academic language is used for understanding the written language in textbooks and on exams. We also have assistance in writing assignments such as essays and research papers, articulating thoughts and ideas, as we mentioned before. We teach academic language to ELL students because there is an increasing need for teachers to focus on language needed in class. This is due to an increasing number of students who are learning English as a second language. We teach this in areas of content, and academic language is used for teaching this content. Along the way are going to be some challenges for ELL students. We take in what we read and what we hear, and we try to process that through our speaking and our writing. In particular, I can see writing as more of a challenge because they have to think back on what they've heard and what they've read, and then try to compose their writing and get that all situated. And this can be particularly challenging, especially if they haven't been exposed to English for a very long time. Academic language requires more extensive processing. As you can see by my chart, it only takes a couple years to develop a social language, but academic language, on the other hand, takes 5 to 7 years. Many English language learners have only been here for a short time, and they require time to process, use, and think academically. And depending on how long that is, they may require a lot of extra assistance in this area. And along with this comes some Common Core standards, which are required both teaching the academic language along with a precise subject in the area of its content. A few elements are grammar, style, syntax, and vocabulary. Teachers do have responsibilities for teaching this. We need to introduce the words a few at a time. We don't want to overwhelm our students with too many at one time. An example for an essay, we would use transitional words. Words like however, therefore, furthermore, and in conclusion. I've given an example of how to use these words. However, the author claims, ... Therefore, I'm convinced that, ... Maybe perhaps insert an opinion there. Furthermore, the author also states, ... And in conclusion, the author is saying that, and then you kind of summarize what you've learned from the essay. A handout can also be included with written examples for scaffolding in all the areas of subjects. It doesn't matter what the subject, whether it be math, English, reading, writing, it doesn't matter. I believe that would be really helpful. We must model the language when articulating ideas and instructions for our students. We must continually use language until the students have mastered and demonstrated the comprehension of their meanings. That doesn't mean they're all going to get it. You know, some are going to get it right away and some of them are not. And so there might be some that, get very few. But as long as we keep them moving forward. Here are some ideas to assist learning. We can have the student keep a journal, which defines the words, lists some synonyms, and an example sentence for using the word. We can translate the word whenever possible from, say, their mother language, like Spanish or French, and have a thesaurus dictionary available to assist comprehension and the use of additional academic vocabulary, other words that can be substituted in for the same thing. Here's an example of a journal that I came up with. I'm using the phrase in addition, which would be used in our writing. The act or process of adding something else, according to Webster. Además, también, is a Spanish translation of that. The thesaurus, as well as, also, additionally, which coincides with the Spanish interpretation. Here's my example sentence. In addition to the open house, snacks will be provided. Student usage of vocabulary. Comprehension is not always displayed by the use of the word. Sometimes young students will often practice using the word before they really fully understand it and its meaning. For example, personal example, when I was learning another language, I was able to sing the words, say the words, before I was able to understand their definitions. What does that word mean? I'm sure that that thought goes through their heads every single day. We have some examples, little stickies on this. Image, cemetery, acquainted, summary, illustration, and minute. Even the word curfew is on there. Great example. So the input to our brains comes from our listening and our reading, and the output comes from our speaking and writing. This is all the process that, you know, they're going to have to continue processing time after time until they actually get it right, which leads us to our other image, which is academic language construct. We construct that language. The capacity to make meaning out of it leads to our academic achievement and understanding. Here's some more stuff. Wow, they've got a lot of small writing, but let me try. Phonological features of English. You know, understanding the phonological features such as stress patterns and sound patterns and so forth. We have lexical knowledge, grammatical, disclosure, and cognition to go with that, to think about text in order to decipher it, to predict, to infer, and synthesize meaning, and to read for a purpose, to question sources, and so forth. In conclusion, ELL students, some more than others depending on how long they've been exposed to the English language, will have many challenges with learning academic vocabulary. Teachers need to model academic language throughout the day, all year, for ELL students to effectively learn definition and how to properly use this vocabulary in their writings, readings, and testings. Keep a journal of new words and how to utilize them. This will be effective for the student to internalize their new academic vocabulary. Very important there. We want all of our students to be successful academically, which includes both ELL and non-ELL students, to internalize this academic vocabulary and begin using it without hours of effort. Having an academic vocabulary list ready for the year with definitions and examples will help scaffold students who really need the extra help. It is so important to teach academic language so each student can excel at his or her rate without pressure, but with proper encouragement to keep them moving forward in all subjects, exams, and comprehension. I grabbed a few images from clip art, some colors, and some images online, which you will see from this really big bottom one at the bottom. And that's my presentation on academic language and why it's important for us to teach it to ELL students. Thank you.